Okay, guess what? You get me. We're going to talk today about scrub seals. And this again is another, it's a new tool that's, well, we'll see. I think it's old. It's something old coming back, but it's really taking the country by storm, I think. So many all around the country do meetings and people are talking about scrub seal and it is working well and people are really liking it. So let's talk about it. So you've got a road like this, right? You've got a lot of cracking. You know, you've got to take care of those cracks. We've talked about it. It's very important to seal those cracks. It's very important to seal those cracks before we do anything else, because we've learned that sealing the cracks is going to add life to whatever we put on top of it. So traditionally, this is what we've done, right? Yeah, that's not good, but it's not good, but we filled and sealed the cracks, and we might have made a friction issue. We wore out some people going in circles, and we probably put a bunch of pounds of crack sealing rubber down. So what can we do different? Well, that's where this scrub seal comes in. And so scrub seal's same as a chip seal, only when we spray the emulsion, and boy, I don't know if we've done any scrub seals with hot applied, so I think it is always emulsion. A broom sled connected to the distributor scrubs the emulsion into the cracks in the existing surface. Most parts of the country are using what's called a polymer modified rejuvenating emulsion. We don't really have that yet in Pennsylvania, but it also works just fine with CRS, with RS, but it's just, if you see any other presentations on scrub seal, a lot of them are going to talk about the PMRE, and we talk about kind of what that does differently coming up. So like I said, so here's kind of that scrub broom that this is from my West Virginia presentation. I'm sorry, I kept that in there. No, like I said, what's old is new, or what's new is old, I don't know, but anyway, that was a mean joke. Here's what it looks like. How about this? That look a little bit better? And so again, we've got standard distributor pulling either a scrub trailer or a scrub box, and we've got pictures of both. Of course, this is a trailer, you see, and so when they move it around, they hydraulically or mechanically, depending on the design, they lower those tires and they pick it up and they can get it out of the way. These brooms are designed in certain ways to move the material correctly. We've got some photos coming, and some more videos. You know, there are folks that buy scrub brooms and scrub boxes. There are folks that build them in their own shops. I think we're finding that we're doing a lot better with ones that are designed specifically, but as long as they meet the specification and move the emulsion correctly, they're in good shape. Another shot coming from the other end, something really important you can kind of see. We want to make sure we've got a head of material in front of those brooms, and there was a question yesterday about scrub seal and how do we make sure we don't pull the application off. And we get the application correct. And by having those brooms going in the right direction with the right down pressure, that's how we keep from scraping all the oil off. And it does take for a contractor or an agency, it takes a little trial and error to get it. But there's another shot there. So let's see. It is video roulette today. Is the video going to play? And I hope it's not too loud. We don't need the sound if it is, but oh well. So we got the crack. We spray. We still have the crack. We scrub. Crack's pretty much gone, filled up. Now, I mean, that's good for video purposes. I would have preferred that. That looks to me like a transverse working crack. I don't know if it's quite a 1/2 inch. That size probably should have been sealed, but I mean, here we see what the system can do with that. Oh, come on. Go to the next one. There we go. Now I got to come back one. So this is the scrub box. This is kind of brand new on the market. I think they demoed it last year at the Pavement Preservation Conference in Indianapolis. Got to see it work. This is a little different than the trailer, just in the fact that you can. There's arms on the back of the distributor designed to pick it up, layer it down. It very easily is extendable, even on the go, just like the distributor. So this is a little more expensive way to do it, but it's a good way to do it. This next one is on the market. This is another trailer. Again, this one lighter weight, less expensive, but they work well. And they do what they need to do. Here we were talking about that head of material to make sure that we're rolling that material and we're getting it pressed into the cracks, and that's what we're trying to do, is get this material down into the cracks and to seal them before we put the chip over the top. Just like Ernie's fiber mat, once this scrub broom goes by, we got a chip seal. No difference. No difference. It's the same critter. We've just filled these cracks better. So again, scrub seals work. I mean, we're filling the cracks and the voids. When we use, this slide is talking about the rejuvenating emulsion, and when we use that polymer modified rejuvenating emulsion, we do get in there that softens and gets some maltings back into that crack. And we're learning that, we kind of talked about it, is those crack walls oxidize just as quick as the surface does. And so when we get that rejuvenating emulsion into that crack, we kind of soften those. But again, we can do this with your RS, with your CRS. It's not a problem, but we're filling those. We're also, if you look, we're keeping those chip particles from going into that crack, because if our chip particles get into a crack, we talked about incompressibles. Well, we just put our own incompressibles into the crack, right? And so they're going to be working to cause failure. So that's kind of why we're doing a scrub seal. You can see here, just similar to one of Ernie's shots, you've got the crack stopping where we pulled the scrub seal up against an intersection there. And that's what we're looking to get, is we're looking to stop this cracking, to fill those, get the oil in there, get them sealed, get the chips over the top to protect that roadway. So we got some candidates here. That upper right is, and the right side, those are questionable. Those are, again, when we're using processes maybe a step or two past where we probably should, but we have to do it. Well, if we think about it, if we were just going to standard chip that, we're probably not going to have great success. If we scrub that, all we change is the addition of a little bit of piece of equipment, and we scrub that, we're going to get us a better chance of survival of that seal coat before we have to do something else. It's not perfect. It may not be best practice, but sometimes that's where we are. This to me is a great candidate. Especially because most of those cracks looks to me like block cracking, and so most of those are probably not working cracks, right? So we're not getting a lot of movement in those, and so this process is perfect for those. Some edge cracking here, same thing. You kind of see partway up there, you do see some transverse, so probably want to fill those transverse working cracks with something else if they're wide enough. But these are great. Standalone scrub seal is perfect, and a lot of folks stop there. But many of these in the industry are doing scrub capes, and they're doing a scrub seal cape either with a slurry or a microsurfacing, or they're going to do an inner layer under hot mix. And so again, we're trying to stop the cracking or help the cracking, keep the cracking from mitigating up through as much as possible. So that's really quick. You can't talk too long on scrub seals because it's simple but effective. And I know that we have a contractor, a PAAMA member, working with the department to possibly get you a little start on scrub seal this year, just to kind of get a taste in it. And then, Andy, you got anything else on that, or?
No, actually, we're going to be doing a pilot in District 5. I talked to Bruce Bumser, our AD, this morning. He's all on board, and we're going to work through the details. AGS is donating a distributor and a scrub box for us to go out and basically, do a day, and we'll be able to show differences between conventional chip versus the scrub.
Great. Excellent. Yes, sir.
Two questions. With the cracks, how clean are you getting them before you
There are some projects that are very dirty where they will actually go out, pre-blow them. Normally sweeping's where we stop because we're able to do that, yeah.
And the second question, same as the other day with my ADT Highland split.
I think because it's really just a chip seal, so wherever, and boy, everybody, we hate throwing numbers out. I mean, there's people doing chips on 20,000 ADT, and there's some agencies that stop at 8, and so I don't want to get into, yeah.
If I could just back up to the presenter before that.
Yes. Oh.
ADTs for your project?
Same.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? It's the same.
Yep.
And obviously, interlayer, then, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we will, the purpose of the interlayer is, for the higher ADTs, that they're gonna put, another wearing surface on top, such as a hot mix or, whatever, ultra thin,
Right.
things. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
Terry, are you ready? Oh, yes, sir.
Rick, did you talk about the emulsion for this?
We talked a little bit that PMRE is done in the largest parts of the country. Here, CRS, RS is fine. That was really it.
Yeah, so the thing we found, we do a lot of this out west, California, Washington, Nevada, Arizona, and a lot of times the question about the dust that just came up, it is a factor, and no matter what you do, you can sweep all you want, you can blow all you want, you're gonna have dust down in your cracks. Didn't sound right, but I'm gonna say that the PMRE, the rejuvenating part of that, the lighter end oil that's in that emulsion, really helps cut through that dust and get your asphalt to your aggregate or to the crack or to the roadway if you do have some dust. So we have found PMRE, and whether PAAMA members like that or not, I don't know, we have found where PMRE is really effective when using a scrub. It also doesn't stick to the broom as much. It tends to come off a little more, and it tends to roll that way a little easier.
There you go.
A lower
Use the arrow to
demulsibility
advance
than
either
what
one,
a
yeah.
PMCRS or a CRS.
Let me introduce you.
So I will say PMRE is working a lot better out west.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Yes, sir.
What determines the amount of oil you're shooting out? Is it the cracks or is it?
Well, you have to add,
What do you chip seal?
well, what's the final is are you getting the embedment on the chip? And there's kind of an estimate, you just kind of got to look at the road, just like you do any other chip seal. A coarse road's going to take more than a slick, and more cracks. You'll have to do a test strip probably, or a few hundred feet, and see how you're doing with, let's say I'd start up about 0.03 and see where we are, and make sure you're getting your embedment, and then go from there. But really, I mean, you can't give a number, because if the road's already textured, you've got to add some for that, and then you may have to add some for the cracks. If it's smooth, you may have to back off. Even though you have cracks, you got to back off because you got a tabletop. Yeah. So there's still some old guy knowledge in there. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, sir.
In these videos, I'm not seeing how the stone is being compressed. This is still a 9-inch tire.
Yes. No. Yeah. Once that broom's passed, there is no change. No change. Yep. Thank you.
One here, Rick.
Yeah.
I noticed in one of your beginning slides, there was pretty significant tracking with the chipper. With the uneven application of the oil, you're putting it deeper in the cracks. Do you see that often?
I have not. You are correct. If you had, boy, a lot of, in a short area, that you could see a little bit of, I wouldn't call it bleeding. You could see some darkening, but, oh, look at that.
This is how we get more interaction out of these.
I love it.
Yesterday is the cone.
The cone. Well, you guys are cheap
Ask the
dates.
question.
They are cheap dates. All right. Okay, get him. I can't throw that far.
He just wants to count.
That guy go.
We get to a section that doesn't meet these brush fields because it's not gonna crack. Would you lift that?
It takes a while to get it going. I mean, so a section of a couple hundred feet, no, I would just, you keep that wave, you should be fine. But yeah, if you got a half mile, yeah. And when you stop, you have to do some things. When you stop, you stop the distributor about 40 foot before you hit the end. You scrub that out, and then you need to back up and spray that last whatever. You know, it takes some doing on your starts and stops as well. Yeah.
So switching distributors is another trick.
It's easy with the trailer. The question was switching distributors. That's hard to say too. With the trailer, it's pretty easy. With the box, I have not been around. I've seen demos of that. I've not been on a production job whether they're using two, where they're just putting a box on each distributor. My guess is that's what they're doing. So, yeah. Has anybody been, any of your payment members seen the Etnauer box in action, other than a demo? I have not either, so I'll have to find that one out. Look at that. All right. Now we're gonna get into the hot processes.